Lights Out in Canada is approaching at a venue where the island was built for the 1967 World's Fair. The world has gathered once again. Welcome to the Canadian Grand Prix. A 2.7-mile circuit, peaking at around 190 miles per hour. 2 DRS zones, 14 turns, tight corners everywhere you look, and a very narrow track. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Richards lines up on pole position. A very happy Carlos Sainz will start second. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Russell, Leclerc, Stroll, Albon, Doohan, Théo Pourchaire, Gasly, Oscar Piastri, Joe, Verstappen, Norris, Sargent, Ocon, Liam Lawson, Hauger, Magnussen, Tsunoda, Bottas, Ricciardo, and Sergio Perez completes our grid. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway. And joining me again for the race today, Natalie Pinkham. Let's talk about Richards. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, they've been avoiding mistakes and have had solid pace, so it's been a good season so far. But whether they can keep that up long term remains to be seen.
Right, mate, I know it's your home Grand Prix, but I want you to treat it like any other race. Let's not make any unnecessary risks, please. Okay, so let's go through all the gears if you can. We need to make sure the engagement is okay before the start. We're going to want to put some temperature into the tyres and brakes. We need to keep the engine cool though, so don't go too high with the revs. Okay, copy that. Got that, confirmed. Didn't receive that. Repeat the message. Repeat the message. Okay, Sainz is behind you. So we're expecting rain in about 10 to 15 minutes. Superb parking there, mate. Let's make sure we get the edge on the surrounding drivers as the lights go out. Keep an eye on the lights. The start sequence will begin as soon as the grid is formed. Be ready with the clutch. That's Sainz behind you now. Okay, push, push. Gap to the car behind. 2.4 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Their tyres are just 1 lap old. Okay, we think they've got 2 stops remaining. 2 stops remaining. Your last lap time was a 1:21.9. Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 5.5 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. They're sitting in 7th. Time last lap was a 1:24.5. They're in 11th, and the gap is 7.6 seconds. And the time last lap was a 1:26.3. Great work, that's a new fastest lap of the race. Rain is forecast in just over 10 minutes time. Rain in 10 minutes. Dries definitely seem like the fastest tyre at the moment. Confirmed. Battery charge is high, let's use that overtake button a bit more. Okay, Sainz is behind you. Okay, so the gap to the car behind is 2.6 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Their tyres are 2 laps old. Okay, we think they've got 2 stops remaining. 2 stops remaining. Your last lap time was a 1:16.6. Okay, expect to see some rain about 10 to 15 minutes from now. Copy. That's Sainz behind you now. Our gap behind is 3.9 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Their tyres are 3 laps old. Okay, we think they've got 2 stops remaining. 2 stops remaining. Time last lap was a 1:17.1. Okay, Sainz is behind you. Okay, the gap behind is 4.5 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Okay, they've got 4 laps on their tyres. Okay, we think they've got 2 stops remaining. 2 stops remaining. And the time last lap was a 1:16.9. Repeat that, I've got some interference here. Gap to your teammate behind is 7.8 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. They're sitting in 7th. Your last lap time was a 1:17.2. You've got 2 stops remaining now. 2 stops remaining in this strategy. 16 laps now until your pit window opens. So we're expecting rain in about 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, dries seem like the best tyre for now. That's Sainz behind you now, and the gap behind us is 3.2 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Their tyres are 5 laps old. Okay, we think they've got 2 stops remaining. 2 stops remaining. Time last lap was a 1:16.6. Front of the pack. Okay, Sainz is behind you. We're leading the car behind by 3.2 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Your pit window opens in 15 laps time. outs yet, but it is coming, so be careful. Dries definitely seem like the fastest tyre at the moment. No need to worry about the tyre condition for now, everything's looking good. That's Sainz behind you now. Okay, gap to the car behind. 5.9 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Their tyres are 9 laps old. Okay, we think they've got 2 stops remaining. And the time last lap was a 1:16.8. Copy that. Expecting some rain soon. Expect the first drops in the next few minutes. Confirming that we're fitting intermediate tyres. Okay, clear. Okay, Sainz is behind you. Okay, car behind trailing us, 7.1 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Their tyres are 11 laps old now. Okay, we think they've got 2 stops remaining. Your last lap time was a 1:17.1. Yellow flag. They're 20 seconds. Time last lap was a 1:17.2. Okay, Jack's dropped out of the race. got a lot of spare energy. Okay to use your overtake button. That's Sainz behind you now. Okay, push, push. Gap to the car behind. 5.0 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Their tyres are 13 laps old. Okay, we think they've got 2 stops remaining. 2 stops remaining. And the time last lap was a 1 minute 17.1. Okay, so the gap to the car behind is 5.6 seconds. Okay, dry seemed like the best tyre for now. Okay, be mindful of the conditions. The track's getting wetter. Recommend you stay out for now though. We'll be much slower if we move on to Inters this early. Understood, copy that. Okay, 2 stops left now, 2 stops. The pit window will be open in 7 laps' time. I know these conditions are tough, but bear with it. I don't think the track's ready for intermediates yet. Okay, copy that. Our gap behind is 6.8 seconds. Okay, you're doing well out there. Keep it up. We're looking at about 10 more minutes of rain. 10 minutes. Dries definitely seem like the fastest tyre at the moment. Okay, science is behind you. Okay, the gap behind is 7.1 seconds. They're on old mediums. Their tyres are 16 laps old. Okay, we think they've got 2 stops remaining. 2 stops remaining. Your last lap time was a 1:22.2. Okay, mate, we might need to look at a new race strategy after that. I've got some options for you, so go and check your MFD. Okay, you're doing well out there. Keep it up. We're looking at about 10 more minutes of rain. 10 minutes. Up to speed now, let's get some heat into those tyres. Okay, we're coming up to the safety car now. Do not pass it, you are the leader. Follow the safety car. Okay, roger that. Soft tyres at the next pit stop. Okay, the safety car's coming in this lap. We'll be pacing the field in sector 3. Make sure to respect the delta until the safety car's into the pit lane. disabled by the stewards. DRS will be offline. Wait for further updates. Let's use overtake and burn off some of this energy. That's Sainz behind you now, and the gap behind us is 0.9 seconds. They're on a fresh set of inters. Their tyres are 3 laps old. Time last lap was a 1 minute 25.5. Okay, the static over the radio. Say it again. Current forecast is 5 or 10 minutes more of rain before it starts to dry up. Inters look like the best tyre for now. You're leading the pack, that's P1. Okay, Sainz is behind you. We're leading the car behind by 2.6 seconds. They're on a fresh set of inters. Look after these tyres now and want to finish the race on this compound. And that's 49 laps to go. Say that again, we're having trouble receiving you. They're in 9th place, and so the difference is 8.7 seconds. And the time last lap was a 1:26.4. The rain's passing now, so expect it to ease up in the next few minutes. Be ready for the grip to come back, but don't overheat the tyres. Inters seem to be the fastest tyre for now. Okay, I think the track's going to be drying out quite soon. Be careful you don't burn out your tyres. Okay, gap to the car behind. 3.0 seconds. the line is really dry enough yet to start thinking about slicks. Let's hold on to the inters for a little while longer. Got that confirmed. That's Sainz behind you now. Okay, car behind trailing us, 3.5 seconds. They're on a fresh set of inters. Their tyres are 6 laps old. Your last lap time was a 1 minute 25.0. Okay, Sainz is behind you. Okay, push, gap to the car behind, 3.9 seconds. They're on a fresh set of inters. Okay, their tyres are 7 laps old. Time last lap was a 1:24.7. No threat of rain for the time being, conditions look good. Inters look like the best tyre for now. That's Sainz behind you now. Okay, so the gap to the car behind is 4.7 seconds. They're on a fresh set of inters. Their tyres are 8 laps old, and the time last lap was a 1 minute 24.4. No rain expected, no rain expected for the time being. We're not certain which is the best tyre right now, dries or inters. There's a new strategy available on the MFD. DRS has been enabled. DRS is now enabled. we'll be doing one more stop today. One stop left in this strategy. Piastri's ahead of you. Okay, so the gap to the car ahead, 1.4 seconds. They're on a fresh set of inters. Okay, they've done 10 laps on those tyres. Okay, we think they've got 2 stops remaining. 2 stops remaining. Your last lap time was a 1:22.9. Okay, Science is behind you. Our gap behind is 4.8 seconds. They're on fresh softs. We think they've got one more stop. Overtake button more, it's time to utilise some of this energy. Come on. That's Science behind you now. Okay, the gap behind is 4.9 seconds. They're on fresh softs. We think they've got one more stop. Alright, we'll be doing one more stop today. One stop left in this strategy. Pit window opens in 19 laps time. 19 laps. There's a 6-second gap between you and the car behind. Keep pushing. Conditions look stable at the moment, no rain currently expected. Okay, dry seem like the best tyre for now. Okay, Science is behind you, and the gap behind us is 5.1 seconds. They're on fresh softs. Their tyres are 2 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. Time last lap was a 1:17.0. Sainz behind you now. We're leading the car behind by 4.6 seconds. They're on fresh softs. Okay, they've got 4 laps on their tyres. We think they've got 1 more stop. And the time last lap was a 1:15.6. Confirmed. I didn't catch that, mate. Just say it again. Okay, Sainz is behind you. Okay, gap to the car behind. Car behind. 3.8 seconds. They're on fresh softs. We think they've got 1 more stop. Your last lap time was a 1:15.3. Copy. You only have to stop once now, 1 stop left. And that's 13 laps now until your pit window's open. Okay, no issues with tyre wear for now. Keep taking care of them. That's Sainz behind you now. Okay, car behind trailing us, 3.3 seconds. They're on fresh softs. Their tyres are 8 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. Time last lap was a 1:16.1. Okay, one stop to go, just one stop left in this strategy. You've got 11 laps until your pit window opens. Okay, Sainz is behind you. Okay, push, gap to the car behind. 1.5 seconds. Okay, they're on old softs. Okay, they've done 10 laps on those tyres. We think they've got one more stop. And the time last lap was a 1:16.2. Copy that. Affirmative, medium tyres at the next stop. That was the fastest lap of the race. Keep this up. Well done. Right, we'll be doing one more stop today. One stop left in this strategy. Your pit window will be open in 7 laps time. That's Sainz behind you now. Okay, so the gap to the car behind is 4.7 seconds. Okay, they're on old softs. Their tyres are 13 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. Your last lap time was a 1:16.4. Okay, radar is clear, weather is looking good for now. Dries definitely seem like the fastest tyre at the moment. Okay, Sainz is behind you. Our gap behind is 5.0 seconds. Okay, they're on old softs. Okay, they've done 15 laps on those tyres. We think they've got one more stop. Time last lap was a 1:16.2. You only have to stop once now, one stop left. Your pit window opens in 5 laps time, 5 laps. I've got information on Lawson. They're retiring from the race. Caution, caution. window and you're going to be on mediums. Russell behind. Okay, the gap behind is 3.7 seconds. Okay, they're on old softs. Their tyres are 18 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. And the time last lap was a 1:15.9. Okay, Russell's behind you now, and the gap behind us is 3.1 seconds. Okay, they're on old softs. Their tyres are 18 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. Your last lap time was a 1:15.9. Okay, expect to see some rain about 10 to 15 minutes from now. No tyre concerns at the moment, just focus on the driving. In this lap, push now. Russell behind. We're leading the car behind by 2.5 seconds. Okay, they're on old softs. Their tyres are 20 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. Time last lap was a 1:16.3. Pitting this lap then. Coming to the pits at the end of this lap. That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. Let's go. Ocon's behind you. Okay, gap to the car behind. Car behind. 4.3 seconds. Okay, they're on old softs. They've done 21 laps on those tyres. We think they've got one more stop. And the time last lap was a 1:16.6. rain in about 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, dry seem like the best tyre for now. You're in first position, front of the pack. That's Science behind you now. Okay, car behind trailing us, 5.0 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now. 21 laps to go. So we've got 29 laps of fuel remaining. Okay, Science is behind you. Okay, push, gap to the car behind. 6.0 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Their tyres are 5 laps old. Your last lap time was a 1:16.4. Great work, that's a new fastest lap of the race. Good job, that was the fastest lap of the race so far. That's Science behind you now. Okay, so the gap to the car behind is 8.5 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Okay, their tyres are 7 laps old. Time last lap was a 1:15.6. Okay, expect to see some rain about 10 to 15 minutes from now. was the fastest lap of the race. Keep this up. Well done. Understood. Copy that. Radar suggests the weather's going to hit in around 5 minutes' time, so stay on your toes. Dryers definitely seem like the fastest tyre at the moment. You're leading the pack, that's P1. OK, Sainz is behind you. Our gap behind is 17.6 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Look after these tyres now, we want to finish the race on this compound. There are 20 laps of fuel left. They're sitting in 7th. The difference is 27.4 seconds. And the time last lap was a 1:16.1. That's Sainz behind you now. OK, the gap behind is 17.3 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Their tyres are 12 laps old. Your last lap time was a 1:15.7. Russell's behind you now, and the gap behind us is 18.4 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Okay, they've done 10 laps on those tyres. Time last lap was a 1:15.1. You're in first position, front of the pack. Russell behind. We're leading the car behind by 18.1 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. Let's go. Okay, 12 laps to go. Okay, so that's 17 laps of fuel remaining. Okay, rain is imminent. Rain is imminent. Be careful out there. Okay, dry seem like the best tyre for now. Okay, we don't think we're far away from rain now. I'll keep you updated as conditions change. Okay, copy that. Okay, Russell's behind you now. Okay, gap to the car behind. Car behind, 19.4 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Their tyres are 12 laps old, so the time last lap was a 1:15.4. You're leading the pack, that's P1. Russell behind. Okay, car behind trailing us, 18.3 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now. 9 laps to go. Dries definitely seem like the fastest tyre at the moment. Okay, I think we're still the right tyres for the time being. minutes left of this rain, then we think it's going to dry up. 10 minutes. Okay, dry seem like the best tyre for now. Okay, Russell's behind you now. Okay, push, push. Gap to the car behind. 21.0 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Okay, they've done 15 laps on those tyres. Your last lap time was a 1:17.4. First position, front of the pack. Russell behind. Okay, so the gap to the car behind is 21.6 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Look after these tyres now. You want to finish the race on this compound. All right, 6 laps to go now. Okay, we've got 10 laps of fuel to go. 10 laps of fuel left. Okay, even though we're seeing cars start to struggle in these conditions, if we pit for inters now, we're going to be too slow and we'll burn them out. Make the best of it for the time being. Our gap behind is 21.3 seconds. Got that confirmed. And this rain clearing up in about 10 minutes, so just keep your concentration out there, you're doing well. Okay, Russell's behind you now. Okay, the gap behind is 21.9 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Their tyres are 18 laps old. Time last lap was a 1:19.9. Russell behind, and the gap behind us is 21.1 seconds. They're on old mediums, and the time last lap was a 1:19.9. We've got a lot of spare energy, okay to use your overtake button. We're leaving the car behind by 21.4 seconds. Final lap, push, push. Okay, Russell's behind you now. Okay, gap to the car behind, 20.1 seconds. They're on old mediums. Their tyres are 20 laps old. Your last lap time was a 1 minute 22.2. Okay, that's us with 5 laps of fuel remaining, 5 laps of fuel left. Okay, car behind trailing us, 19.3 seconds. That's a race win and your second race win in a row. Fantastic job.
So that's it then for another magnificent Canadian Grand Prix, and they have hung on to take a sublime victory here today. So, Natalie, what made the difference out there today?
Well, they managed their tyres to absolute perfection. A tyre whisperer, in fact. And that is what set them apart.
A show-stopping performance from the 3 drivers approaching the podium right now. It's been an interesting Grand Prix, that's for sure. Let's see what effect this result has had on the drivers' standings. This result narrows the gap between our championship leader and the rest of the standings. So then, Natalie Pinkham, who would you rank as your driver of the day?
I have to give it to Richards.
It's time to check out the constructors' standings. The lead at the top comes down after a strong weekend from the challenging pack. Been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula One action. I can't wait to see what's next.